This Rams team's gonna be something different this year, bro. Hey, play for one another, play hard, play fast.
Stafford lobs the ball down the right sideline, looking to the end zone. It is caught!
Found a way, accomplished the mission.
Whatever it takes, let's go!
If you looked at your 2024 NFL playoff bracket and wondered what the hell the Los Angeles Rams were doing there, well, you're not alone. After falling on their faces out of the gate last season, this team barreled into the postseason looking like a group no one wanted to face. Then they got better in the offseason. A lot better. But is Los Angeles really built to make another run in a stacked NFC, or did they just get lucky last year? From what we've seen of the 2025 Rams so far, the talent is there even if the luck isn't. This team has stars everywhere, depth they haven't had since winning the Super Bowl, and everything left to prove. The problem is, they don't have a lot of time to prove it. Last season, the Rams shocked everyone. Not because they weren't supposed to make the playoffs, they had made the postseason in 2023 after all, but no, they shocked people because of the path they took to get there. Los Angeles started the season 1-4, yet somehow finished 10-7, stealing the NFC West in the process. They even made it to the divisional round and came within a score of knocking the eventual Super Bowl champion Eagles out of the playoffs. It was a hell of a turnaround to say the least, but peel back the curtain and the numbers told a different story. A negative point differential for the season, 8 wins by 1 score or less, and a top 10 turnover ratio all papered over the cracks. The reality, however, is that luck isn't a sustainable plan of attack, and the front office knew it. So the Rams went shopping in the offseason, going all in for 2025. The question is, did it make this team better, or did they just dress it up with big names and no substance? Hit that like button and subscribe while we dig into it, because the Rams might just be the NFL's most fascinating experiment in 2025, and you don't want to miss how it plays out.
Right there. Hey, that's good right there, boys. That's good. Great job, D.
The first order of business was replacing a departing Cooper Kupp as wide receiver 2 to Puka Nacua, and LA landed a monster in Davante Adams. When the Jets let him walk because of salary cap concerns, the 6-time Pro Bowler came home to California on a 2-year deal. Even with Adams entering the season at 32 years old, his stack with Puka Nacua puts them in the conversation with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith for the best receiving tandem in football. I mean, they've already combined for 43 receptions for 546 yards and 3 touchdowns in their first 3 games together, and it's only going to get tougher on defenses once Adams gets locked in with Stafford. And now add in Tutu Atwell, Jordan Whittington, and Xavier Smith for depth, and this becomes the most versatile group of pass catchers McVay has had since the 2018 season with Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, Josh Reynolds, and Robert Woods. We'll get to the backfield in a minute, but first, we need to talk about the tight ends. A position that was a disaster last year when the Rams didn't have a single name finish inside the top 40, but now it looks like an asset. Tyler Higbee is healthy, Davis Allen has turned a corner, already hauling in a pair of touchdowns coming off the bench. Now, admittedly, Colby Parkinson struggled in the opener, losing a fumble and spraining an AC joint, but with rookie Terrence Ferguson averaging 24 yards per reception in the preseason, the Rams tight end group is one of the deepest in the league, even if they've yet to use them much in 2025. Then there's the running back room. The 2024 Rams leaned heavily on Kyren Williams.
Stafford, a pass for Williams. Oh! Somersaults in to the end zone.
The third-year stud out of Notre Dame carried the ball 316 times for nearly 1,300 yards and 16 total touchdowns. Only Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry carried the ball more times. Williams was a workhorse, but he took a beating and had no safety net with Blake Corum struggling in limited action as a rookie. This year, the backfield looks stable, not a thin roster line. Williams is still the lead, but Blake Corum is fully healthy after a late-season injury and has already found the end zone once this year. The explosive rookie Jarquez Hunter is waiting in the wings in case Williams or Corum goes down, and that's huge in today's NFL because depth at running back isn't just a luxury, it's a survival strategy. Up front, the offensive line finally has stability with Steve Avila and Kevin Dotson locked in at the guard position. Avila missed week 3 with an ankle injury, so Justin Dedich is already stepping in and getting valuable reps. Bookending the inside, Rob Havenstein and a much-improved Alaric Jackson make up one of the better pairs of tackles when they're healthy, and Coleman Shelton was brought back to anchor the line at center after a year in Chicago. Behind them, veterans like DJ Humphries and David Quessenberry give this unit legit depth. In fact, this might be the deepest offensive line McVay has ever coached. So on paper, yeah, this Rams offense is better than the 2024 model, but paper doesn't win football games. Which brings us back to the linchpin of this entire operation, albeit a linchpin that has a lot of wear and tear on it.
Stafford
to the end zone, caught, touchdown.
At 37, Matthew Stafford is still one of the toughest quarterbacks alive, but back injuries are tricky, especially if getting slammed to the ground by 350-pound monsters is part of your job description. The Rams' gamble is that with Adams, Nakua, Williams, and a real line, Stafford won't need to be Superman. He can just be the steady veteran who keeps the machine on track, the way Peyton Manning did with the 2015 Broncos. If Stafford does stay healthy, this offense has the tools to keep pace with the 49ers, Lions, Bucks, and Eagles. I mean, they already proved that in Week 3 by almost taking down the champs. The only thing keeping LA from starting 3-0 was a bad beat on a blocked field goal that would have knocked off Philly. If Stafford's back does become an issue at some point, the Rams will have to bet on Jimmy Garoppolo or Stetson Bennett to keep the season alive. That's shaky ground, and we're talking LA earthquake shaky. On the positive side, though, this offense may have a much bigger safety net on the defensive side of the ball than expected. Aaron Donald's shadow is never going to leave this franchise, but the Rams have managed to rebuild their 2024 defense, which ranked 26th with a mix of young talent and veteran leadership. The undisputed headliner of this unit is outside linebacker Jared Verse, who blasted onto the scene as Defensive Rookie of the Year last season. In 16 starts, Verse racked up 4.5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumbles recovered, 66 tackles, and 18 quarterback hits, and don't be shocked to see those numbers skyrocket in 2025. He already has a sack, a forced fumble, and 4 QB hits in just 3 games.
It takes a double team. It takes an army. I'm glad they realized. Now I can do better.
On the left side, Byron Young has been on a mission, racking up a ridiculous 4 sacks, 20 tackles, and 5 QB hits already this season. At defensive end, Braden Fisk finished 3rd behind Verse in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting last year. Look for him to level up on the 8.5 sacks and 44 tackles he registered in just 8 starts in 2024. Add in Kobe Turner's outside pressure and new rival Puna Ford clogging the middle, and suddenly the Rams' defensive line is a strength, not a liability. More importantly, they're going to be good for a long time with that much talent entering years 2 and 3. At linebacker, Omar Speights became a surprise starter last season, but it's the former Atlanta Falcon Nate Landman who lit up in Week 1. Landman brings a high football IQ and veteran leadership, which he showed off by winning the NFC Player of the Week in the season opener against Houston. And finally, Sean Dolak and Troy Reeder provide much-needed depth to the position. Is it the flashiest unit in the league? No, but it is the most improved unit on the Rams' defense.
Hey, fuck 3 man, let's get it, baby.
In the secondary, it's a mix of experience and upside, but it's probably the most vulnerable group on that side of the ball. Though that could change over the course of 2025 if Emmanuel Forbes can lock in and get back to the numbers he put up as a rookie with Washington in 2023. Forbes played well enough against Houston to keep presumed starter Darius Williams on the bench, so that's worth keeping an eye on. Veteran Akello Witherspoon was slated to lead the cornerback unit with Kobe Durant handling nickel duties, but a broken clavicle landed Spoon on the IR, so Durant is starting at left corner. The kid already snagged his first pick of the year in the season opener, which could make it tougher for Williams to get back on the field once Witherspoon is healthy. That shift included moving Quentin Lake to the nickel spot, but the third-year man is dangerous whether he's roaming the backside or crowding the line of scrimmage. In fact, this whole safety room is sneaky good. Cam Curl is a former 7th rounder who's had a solid career and already ripped off 10 tackles in Game 1. And the other Cameron, Cam Kitchens, was impressive as a rookie last year. All he did was register 57 tackles, 6 passes defended, 1 forced fumble, and a 103-yard pick 6 that was the longest interception in the league in 2024. And backing up Curl is Jalen McCullough, a second-year guy who came out of nowhere last year to make 43 tackles and snag 4 picks, including one he took to the house.
Coming after him, Young. Just heaves it. Somehow is caught for the touchdown on the pick 6.
Oh, and he did all that while only making 1 start. In other words, this unit brings depth and ball-hawking ability that this team didn't have last year, and it's already paying dividends. So no, this Rams defense isn't Aaron Donald's show anymore. It's a committee of young, hungry players who might just feast together. Now, don't get us wrong. This unit is going to have to prove itself all season, and not just in the first couple of weeks. And I'm going to be honest, there was no shortage of doubters coming into 2025, so all the Rams did was come out in the season opener and punch the Houston Texans in the mouth and hold that high-powered offense to 265 total yards and 3 field goals. In Week 2, they took Tennessee behind the woodshed and nearly knocked off the defending champion Eagles in Week 3. That's a hell of a start, but the schedule doesn't get easier. The thing about strengthening your NFL roster is that it doesn't change who you play, and the Rams' 2025 schedule is brutal. A first-place finish in 2024 means first-place matchups in 2025. Outside of the division, they still have Baltimore on the road and home matchups against the high-powered Lions, as well as Tampa Bay and Indy, who opened 2025 a combined 6-0.
Way to make that screen work, bro. Hey! run on the street, kid.
In the division, the NFC West is no cakewalk. San Francisco, Seattle, and Arizona have all retooled and gotten healthy, making every matchup a slugfest for superiority out west. Last year, the Rams won with razor-thin margins, and that can't be the formula again. To make it back to the playoffs, they need their roster upgrades to translate into efficiency. Fewer giveaways, more red zone conversions, and more sustained drives. And the defense needs to create more pressure without relying on turnovers to bail them out. So, that brings us back to the only question that matters. Are these Rams really better than the ones that won a playoff game last year? Well, I think we're in the process of finding that out, because this schedule is going to expose any illusions fans have if they aren't. You've heard the saying, "I'd rather be lucky than good." Well, the Rams were a bit of both in 2024. That's not how you build a dynasty, but talent can sustain a team, and looking at this roster, it's clear the Rams are banking on depth, youth, and the star power of Adams, Stafford, Nakua, and Williams to replace last season's luck with a bit of firepower. Will that be enough? The answer so far is hell yes, but only if Stafford holds, only if the offensive line stays healthy, and only if this defense proves last year wasn't a fluke. That's a lot of ifs. But that's also why the Rams are fascinating this year, because they aren't rebuilding anymore and they're not sneaking into the playoffs again. They're openly chasing contention, and either that gamble pays off or we'll look back on 2025 as the year the Rams fell from smoke and mirrors back into reality. So, are the Rams really built to be a powerhouse, or are they just a mirage? That's the question we want you to answer as the 2025 season keeps ramping up. So what do you think? Is this the roster that makes Los Angeles dangerous again, or will Stafford's health and a brutal schedule send them crashing back down? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, because this Rams season might be the most unpredictable ride in the NFL, and we'll be here to track every twist and turn that it takes.